pretty responsive actually. That's cool. How far it'll come over here and follow me. That's kind of creepy actually. It's looking up and down. It's really cool though. One of our past video sponsors, Dzees Security Cameras, asked us to have a look at another one of their security cameras. This camera has one specific feature I'm really excited about: automatic motion tracking. With the motion tracking activated, the pan and tilt function will allow the camera to automatically follow any moving object as it passes by the camera. Stay tuned while I unbox, set up, and test this new camera. Let's see what you get in the Dzees CA49 Smart Security Camera box. Not much to it, so it should be pretty quick. There's some specs on the box. Requires 5 volts DC, 1 to 2 amps on the power. Pan and tilt, the pan goes left and right, goes 355 degrees, so not quite a full circle. Tilt 110 degrees up and down, 2.5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. It's not going to run on your 5G Wi-Fi. Working temperature, minus 10 degrees C to 45 degrees C. That's 14 degrees Fahrenheit to 113 degrees Fahrenheit, which for me, that actually might be an issue. One of the possible applications I have for this is my garage, and it can get pretty hot in the summer here in Phoenix, so I might exceed that 113 degrees. That might be pushing it to test that. It works with Android and iOS, of course, and then it's got a Type-C USB. That's pretty much it for the box. Little QR code for you to get the app. But let's take a look and see what we get in here. This just has your some mounting hardware if you want to mount this to a wall. We'll take a quick look at that in a bit. Try open it up. Get a little 110 volt to 5 volt USB power brick, or wall wart as I call them. This one puts out 1 amp, so 1000 milliamp output on this one. It does say it's good for 100 to 240 volts, 50 and 60 hertz, 0.2 amps from the wall. So if you had an adapter, you could run this internationally as well. Last thing in the box is your USB-C cable. It's quite a long one. We'll figure out exactly once we open it up and start playing with it, but pretty good size length of USB cable. A little small manual here. It's got 6 different languages. There's not much in it. It just gives you the QR codes to scan, register for your warranty, different language manuals in digital form if you want it, QR code to get the app, and just some basic instructions for installing the app, registering it. You got to make an account, create a user account with the app. I've already done that with the previous unit, so I've already got that in my phone. So I won't spend a lot of time on that. You can go look at that other video if you want to see how to set up the app. And then some basic instructions about how you can share it with users. Like in my other camera, I shared it with my neighbor since it was on the property line. He can use that if he wanted to take a look at his gate. And then some frequently asked questions you can go through. So what everybody's waiting for, let's take a look at the camera. So nice, very compact little camera. Let's get that off. Oh yeah, well, that's nice. It's very satisfying. Right at the bottom here, you can see once we get it powered up, we'll rotate it around. But that's where your SD card goes. There's a reset button down in there. Call button, USB-C jack on the back. And right at the bottom here, it's got a nice little cam lock type mount. So let's open up that little wall mounting bracket, take a look while we're in here. But the base does have a nice little rubbery grip on it. All right, so let's take a quick look at this hardware pack. A couple of screws in there. I don't think I'm going to be using this, but that is a pretty nice little mount. So you would mount that up to the wall. So you just take this and drop it down into the slot, and then you can rotate it. Hold on to the base while you do this so that you're not rotating the gears for the pan and tilt. You want to hold on to the base, and then you can just rotate that mount and it'll lock itself in there, and it's very secure. On the wall, you can even put this up on a ceiling so it would hang down below the ceiling, because then in the app you can flip the image. Speaker in the back so you can communicate with it, and you can also, here there's a microphone. Looks to me like the little microphone holder right here in the face of it, because you can talk to people that are in your house. They can push the button and talk to you. We'll play with that. Let's get it set up and do some tests. All right, so one thing it did not come with was a micro SD card. You can store to the cloud if I want to have a SD card, so I've got local storage as well. Plus, if I have an issue with my internet, I want the camera to be able to record and save it locally on the micro SD card. But it did not come with one. It's a 64 gig. It says it'll take up to, I think it's 128 gig at micro SD card. I'm gonna go ahead and get that inserted. So you push and then it kind of locks itself in there. Now that I've got the micro SD card plugged in there, let's go ahead and power it up. And that cord is 6 feet long. I measured it. Plug it in, let it do its initialization. Takes it a few seconds. Should get a little blue light on the face.
Please use the app to format your SD card first.
Kind of cool little initialization. Okay, now I already have the app, but just to show you how you would do it, if you are going to install the app, in the manual here on page 3, you've got a little QR code. Let me open up the camera and mouse over that. It should pop up. I can open that on the browser, do a screen overlay of this. So as you can see, I've got the open option because I already have the app on my device, but the Dzees Home app is what you want to install and get it set up. I've already got it, so I'm not going to do it again. Up here in the top right, I've got a plus sign. I'm going to tap on that. And I want to add a new device. And I've actually, it's got a notification up here, as you can see in the top. It says new device found. So it automatically recognizes that there's a new device found. I'm going to tap on that. And it says right here that it's a CA49, so it is correct. Let's tap on that. Okay, I need to select my internet. As you can see, I've got a 5G, but I cannot use the 5G. I have to use the standard one. Let's use that. The checkbox to remember the Wi-Fi name and password, that's probably a good idea so that your phone will, or so your camera will always be able to reconnect if the power goes out. So let's go to the next step. It'll just confirm your SSID and your password. Hit confirm. So connect to device. Says it will use a temporary Wi-Fi network to connect to the device. I say you got it. Okay, now it's asking me to connect to the hotspot that's in the actual camera. Hit connect. It's disconnecting from my current Wi-Fi, connecting into the camera. Connection successful. Now I'm going to just give this a name because I've got a couple. I'm just going to call this the CA49.
Please use the app to format your SD card first.
I'm going to call this one Garage for now. And you can make your own location if you want to put in a custom name for something. You can call it whatever you want. So let's hit done on that. Okay, so now I've got the device has been added successfully. Let's start. Place the device where you need to install it and check the strength of the Wi-Fi signal. I'm just going to leave it here on my bench while we set this up. Hit next. Gives you some recommendations on how far to keep it from any other objects, books, or plants if it's on a shelf, to keep it clear. About 10 inches. 10 inches on either side is what it recommends to when you install it somewhere. You're all set. Finish. Not now. Okay, so now you can see I've got two cameras here. I've got my original camera out in the driveway. It is telling us we've got a firmware update to do on this camera, so let's go ahead and get that update to make sure we've got all the features. We'll do the update. We'll fast forward through this. It might take a bit. Okay, firmware update is done. It only took a couple of minutes. Wasn't too bad. Okay, we'll back out of that. Let's tap on the gear menu and see if it'll let us format that card. Okay, so that card, so you know, was EXFAT was the format. So let's click the format. It says format SD card because it doesn't like that format apparently. I don't know what it's going to use, but let's tap that. It's a blank card, so but just know it's going to erase anything that's on there. Hit confirm. All right, card is formatted. Let's just go through the different settings here we've got. Motion detection, So you can tell it if you only want it to look for humans or any motion. I'm going to leave that off for now. Detection sensitivity, you got low, medium, and high. I think I'll leave it on low for now. Recording setting, cloud cooldown time, recording duration. I think I upped the other one, my other camera, to a higher number. I'm going to do 20 seconds on that too, because once it starts recording, I'd like it to keep recording while there's stuff going on. SD card recording mode, continuous record, record only when there's motion. So this is nice. So for now, I'm going to put continuously record, but it'll probably still only give me the notifications when there is motion. Motion tracking, so I can turn that on. That's going to follow any motion in the room. As the dog comes in or somebody walks by the camera in the garage, it'll follow them around. One thing I want to test is I think the motion is only if it's in view of the camera. So if it follows somebody across the room, if somebody comes in from that other side of the room again, it's not going to pan back to that object. So I want to do some testing on that and see how sensitive that can be, or if it's only what is visible on the camera. I got a feeling it's only what's visible on the camera. I got sleep mode. After camera sleeps, it will stop recording, and then you can set up a sleep schedule so you can have it automatically turn off at certain intervals. I'm not going to do that. Notification settings, person or pet. So you can tell it whether you want it to be notified if there's a person walks by or a pet walks by. Other motions other than the above, you can turn on that. It'll basically pick up any motion. I'm going to turn that on. For now, I'm just going to see any kind of motion. Alarm settings. I don't want to set up any kind of audible alarm. Video settings. You can tell it whether you want it to do an SD or basically low res or high res. I think the 2K is the higher res. I'm going to switch it to 2K. Here's where you can rotate the image if you need to. This is if you're going to hang it from the ceiling. I could rotate the image upside down. That way I could have that hanging from the ceiling. So if I flip it over, now if it was hanging from the ceiling, you would see it correctly. So for now, I'm not going to have that on. Anti-flicker is for if you have lights in your building, LEDs, something, fluorescent lights that are on a certain frequency and it's causing a flicker in the screen, you can turn the anti-flicker on and get rid of that. Auto night vision is where it's when it gets dark, it's going to automatically turn on the night vision infrared LEDs so that it can see in the dark, and then you can adjust the sensitivity of that. SD card video, there's nothing in there now obviously, but you can view that, anything off the SD card. One touch call is on, so somebody can walk up, push the button, and contact me on the app, I presume. We'll have to play with that. Indicator light, that's the little blue light. I don't know if you saw that on the camera. Let's see if you can see that. As I turn it on and off, it turns on that blue indicator light. So if you don't want anybody to know that the camera is on, you can deactivate that. For now, I'm going to leave it on. Audio settings, so you got the volume of the alarm. The camera voice language, it'll talk to you in different languages. Looks like you got quite a few different languages to choose from. I don't know how to get it to say something, so I'm just going to leave it on English. You can adjust the voice volume, live audio recording, video audio recording. Pan and tilt settings, you can calibrate that. If there seems to be something wrong with your pan and tilt settings, you can recalibrate that. If I want to share this with a family member or a neighbor or something, like I did with my other camera, you can do it there. That's it. So let's go back, let's refresh this. So by swiping that down, I can refresh it. Now I can start that camera. And then while you're in it, you can use this to manually pan left and right. See all my camera gear. Now one thing that's really nice that I've got my other one, you can actually put in pre-programmed, if I hit more here, you can hit position and you can actually create new positions. This is a pretty handy feature with my other one because I can instantly tap a button and go to my neighbor's gate, or I can tap a button and look at my front of my house. Let's just say position 1, confirm. So it saved that. Now if I move it to another position, I can save another position. We'll just call this position 2. Now from this screen, I can instantly go back and forth to 2 different positions wherever I point it at. So that's a really handy, quick way to navigate around, so you're not constantly tapping the arrows. I really like that. All right, I want to experiment a little bit with the auto tracking. So let's turn that off. Let's turn on the motion tracking. When motion is detected, the device will automatically track the movement. Okay, so now if I put my hand over here, it should follow it. Ooh. That's really cool. That's awesome how it follows you around. That's pretty neat. I like that. All right, so now if I walk by the camera, it should follow me. It's pretty responsive, actually. That's cool. How far it'll come over here and follow me. That's kind of creepy, actually. It's looking up and down. Hello! It's really cool, though. It's really responsive and picks up movement pretty well. I don't know how quick it is. If I walk by too fast, let me try that. Okay, so now it's got me. If I try to walk by too fast, I wonder if it'll pick me up. No, yeah, I beat it. So if you go too fast, it won't pick you up. Let me see if I sneak in from the side and how quickly it'll. So I got my hand in there. I got my hand on moving it in the corner. So far it hasn't picked me up or moved. Now I might be able to adjust the sensitivity of that. So I'm right here on the side. So far it still hasn't moved. Oh, now it picked me up. Yeah, so if it loses you, definitely gets off. Let's look at the settings on that and see if I can tweak the motion tracking settings. We're going to settings, motion detection, that's on the low actually. Motion tracking. Let's crank that up to high and see what it does. Okay, we'll go back into that. It's following me around, but it hasn't picked me. Oh, there we go. It's following me around pretty good. Okay, I'm going to try to walk by real quick and see what it does. I didn't walk too fast, and it definitely was able to. I was just kind of walking by normal speed. Okay, I'm going to try to walk by really fast and see what it does. Yeah, I lost it. So if you walk really fast, you can beat it, but it does a pretty dang good job. I wish the one out in the driveway would do that. All right, so I've learned something new about the motion tracking that is really good. I had some concerns that if I had the camera set up to monitor, say, a doorway or a hallway or a certain spot, and then some motion moved the camera, I thought that was going to be a problem where it would now be looking at the wrong spot and not keep capturing that protected area that you wanted. But let me show you something here. Right now I've got it sit on top of my computer, and I'm going to wave my hand in front of it and get it to come look at me. Yeah, see, now it's looking at me. But check this out. If I don't move for 30 seconds, it will return to the last saved position. So I've got this screen capture on my phone, but I've just turned the camera now. It's looking at me. So if I don't move for 30 seconds or the camera doesn't move for 30 seconds, it'll go back to what it was looking at. So that is a really cool feature. That was one thing I was wondering about. See that? It returns right back to where it was looking at after 30 seconds. So that is really cool. So great feature. I'm going to get out of the app. So somebody comes and pushes the button. So if somebody was there, I could see them. Okay, so I can hear it. So you're actually on a call with him. That's pretty neat. And I can hear it out of the camera. But I don't have anybody here to talk to the camera. All right, decline. I can hang up. Now if somebody comes up, pushes the call button, it's ringing. I can hit accept. There, so now I have a video call with that person, whoever's sitting there, and I can talk to them. It's like a speakerphone, video speakerphone. That's pretty cool. So that's a pretty neat little feature where you know your kids or somebody can be at home, hit the button, and then have a two-way communication with you. It's pretty neat. All right, let's hang that up. All right, well, there's the Dzees CA49 camera. I'm actually talking to it. I'm using it for my outro. So the voice is going to be a little out of sync, but thought it'd be kind of interesting to do the outro with the camera we're reviewing. Pretty cool little device. I like the auto tracking. I think that's going to be really neat, like having it out in the garage or somewhere where you know, somebody walks by, it'll follow them. You'll get a little bit more of the picture than you would with just a static location. Link's going to be down below in the description. You'll see some links to this camera if you're interested in it. Any questions, put them down below. Appreciate Dzees for sending this camera out. Full disclosure, they did send this to me for no charge. We've got a partnership with them. We've done a couple cameras now so far, and so far I've been over impressed with the one out in the driveway. So I expect the same results out of this one. The one out in the driveway has been performing better than I thought. Like the motion sensor, for example, it'll pick up cars pulling in the far other side of the driveway, and that's way beyond the specification of how far it'll detect motion. So I expect the same out of this camera. So thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. Take care.